Hi there, my name is Laura Coder. I am a first grade teacher in Moore County Schools. I'm going to be talking to you about word mapping. Word mapping is used to teach and reinforce vocabulary that's important to a particular lesson or a new unit of study you've just started. It helps create those strong connections for students so that they can recall the information during the unit you're working on and also later on in their academic career. It's really a strategy that can be used at any grade level and across all subject areas. All classes throughout have vocabulary that's specific to the topics that it teaches, and so it can be used anywhere. It's also a great way to differentiate for your lower level learners or to meet the needs of any of your students. I usually in first grade use paper copies because my little ones are not quite ready to be collaborating using computers and iPads, but I think it'd be a great way to use Google Drive for older students. I've created some Kahoot games that my students love using word maps, but it would be something really cool to see if the older kids could do that on their own. When I first introduce word maps, I pick a vocabulary word. For our example, we'll use the word soil. I will give out leveled text so that students can read about and look at pictures of the topic that we're going to begin learning about. And in this case, it would be plants and soil. I let them peruse those, they work with partners, they read them to me, and then we come back together as a group and I introduce the word map. So you have to talk about all four components of your word map and how all four are centralized to that word in the middle. So our vocabulary word for this example is soil. So I ask that my students write that word in the middle of their word map, and then I allow them to get with a partner for our first word map, and we walk through each step together. So first we start with defining the vocabulary word in our own words. So they're allowed to use level text and speak with their partner to come up with what is soil. That's the question they need to answer. After that, I ask that they think of some other words that we could use instead of the word soil. So if I had to take soil out of the dictionary, what could we use in its place and our readers would still understand what we were talking about? In this case, we came up with the word dirt. After that, I usually ask them to draw a picture of it. I save that meaningful sentence for the last part. I think it's the most difficult part of a word map, and I want them to have the three other components to help them create that sentence before they get there. So we drew a picture of a flower, and we labeled where our soil was. Just from that picture alone, you should be able to define the word that's in the middle of your vocabulary map. After that, students are asked to create a meaningful sentence. In first grade, this is pretty hard. You see a lot of I like soil, I have soil, soil is nice. But a meaningful sentence would be a sentence that a reader could define the word soil using. In this case, we wrote, I planted the flower in the soil so it would grow. If we took that out of our word map and allowed a reader to just read that sentence and then ask them what the word soil meant, we thought that they'd be able to define it. After we complete our first word map together, oftentimes I'll give students another word map and this time have them work solely with their partners and create their own word map.